Hello, Medicine Tribe. In this video, I would like to talk about this little insight that came through. And it was, sometimes the universe talks and I listen and I don't always share it. So I'm going to try to hop on camera more often and just share what's coming through. And it was, I wrote it down. Everything advances the development of the soul. Everything advances the development of the soul. See, through this experience of being human, we all too often identify to the humanness, the root chakra. We go, I want to protect this physical vehicle. I want to protect what is mine, resources, whatever. We want to create boundaries around people that are toxic. We want to not repeat patterns that make us feel like it was just not good for us. Of course. But as someone who has repeated many, many patterns, I came to a point where I felt like I was really judging myself for repeating patterns so often. But then I realized actually every pattern that I repeated, I actually learned every time. It's not like sometimes I learned. And the last thing I'm ever going to learn is just never do that again. Yeah, maybe with chocolate cake and binge eating it when I was like 19 years old, running from my feelings, maybe what I needed to learn in that situation is to never do that again. Or maybe encapsulated within every single situation is an emotion that's meant to be shown to you. Is something like a thought that plagues you and has a potential to spiral you in a certain direction. And maybe the things that we attract that are repetitions of patterns are meant to shake us up a little bit so that we can see what those things are, because we haven't fully integrated them. We haven't fully let those things go and come to a point where if I just act in accordance to the thing that I think I should do, is that truly evolution? Let's use the chocolate cake, for example. I've had a lot of people talk to me. If you don't know, I'm extremely restrictive with my diet in most people's perception. In my own perception, I just eat the foods that I want to eat, that my body likes and feels good for me. But if you have me over for dinner, I will not eat any food that you prepare. I will not consume any food anywhere, at any place. I prepare my own food and I only want food prepared the way that I prepare it. To most of you, that's going to probably seem pretty crazy, like this guy might have a mental disorder. And to some people, that might be their perception. But I am someone that had a pretty severe eating disorder. Then you go, okay, well, maybe that changes things. Maybe understanding where you have to come from to experience something is just very, very important. So, on that note, the chocolate cake. I found at a certain point that my experience of wanting to be restrictive with my diet because I knew that was most beneficial for me, and the pull towards eating as much sugary food as I possibly could, was a very severe place to have myself residing in. It was worse to muster up the willpower to not eat the chocolate cake and then to just have eaten it. It was worse emotionally for me to negate the thing that my physicality really wanted to do. And you could be someone right now that you're like, yeah, I'm really trying to go through diets and it sucks and I don't want to deal with this and da-da-da-da-da. The thing that I have learned is when I did my Tantra teacher training in Ecuador, my teacher, Iris, she said, everything that you do it with awareness and love. So wait a minute, if I could eat chocolate cake and not feel like a guilty, disgusting person, and I could do it with awareness and love, how would that change my experience of that? How would that change my experience of the cake? Would it make it so I want to eat more cake because I'm doing it in a state of love? Or would it make it so that the cake actually pacifies within me? Because if I'm doing the chocolate cake eating with awareness and love, I must continue the process of Well, now I'm approaching, how does it make me feel 20 minutes later, 1 hour later, 24 hours later, when I'm finally passing it into the toilet? How did that whole experience feel? It's not just that we show up to the things that make us feel bad about ourselves with awareness and love. We show up to the full gamut of the experience. So the full gamut of that experience is, my stomach feels pretty rough after about 5 hours. Feel a little nauseous when I overeat heavy foods. Okay, so awareness and love at the moment of consumption and the full experience. Well, then what I'm doing is I'm anchoring awareness to how this experience actually impacted me at a deep level. How does food and our experience impact us at a deep level? Well, to bring it back to the original point, everything advances the development of the soul. If we overeat chocolate cake, but we do it with awareness and love, what do we gain? We gain awareness and love. If we go about repeating patterns with awareness and love, what do we gain? Awareness and love. What does awareness and love actually equal? It equals a lot of things. It is essentially rooted in freedom. Our free will gets cultivated. It begets more of itself. So if we respond to a pattern that we don't like about ourselves, and that pattern we go, I'm just not going to do that because that's bad for me and I'm going to muster the willpower and that's not awareness and love. That is restriction. That is resistance. That is control. That is going to drain our energetic bank account. But then you go, well, how do I go through the experience of not having to experience dumb things that make me uncomfortable? Everything advances the development of the soul. If we think we can go through life without being dumb and making mistakes, the first thing I will ever suggest to you is learn how to go through life embracing those mistakes with awareness and love. Embrace the repetition of patterns with awareness and love. If we do it with resistance and discomfort, we will beget more resistance and discomfort. I don't know. Hope this video was helpful for you. As always, if you have questions, please leave them in the comments. I love responding to things. I will continue to share my insights as they come through. But you are more inspiring, and the service that I can offer is far more inspiring. Even if you think that my perspective wasn't really that helpful, but you just want to be of service to me by asking a question, hey, let's serve each other. Sending... What a weird thing to say. If you have anything that you wish to ask me, and you feel like you would like to know what my perspective is, please ask it in the comments, and we'll be in touch. Sending you lots of love today.